Hello out there boys and girls, it's Paul here from Musos.com. So today's lesson and today's sheet is entitled Basic Beats in Various Styles. And what that means is that we're pretty much what it says. It means that we're going to be doing basic grooves in a whole lot of different styles. So the styles that we're going to go through is going to be metal and punk, rock, disco, funk, jazz, a whole lot of different styles, and we're going to put them all together in one basic sheet. Now, if you're a rock guy and I tell you we're going to learn jazz and Latin, you've probably already switched me off and you've ran out the door. But the fact is that those styles are so important to learn. They teach us coordination, dynamics, and you can take all that and add it into your style of playing. And on the other side of the coin, if you're a jazz guy, you should learn how to play rock. You should learn how to play metal. You should try to have a well-rounded drumming vocabulary. Now, I know that I got caught out when I was younger because I was more of a rock guy, and maybe a teacher or a band said to me, can you just lay down a simple jazz groove? And I had no idea what the hell they were talking about. I don't want you guys to get stuck like that, okay? You should know basic beats in all different styles, hence the reason why we're doing this. So make sure you've got the sheet music. So if you don't have it, click the link below and you'll find it on Musos.com. Let's get straight to it. So we're going to start with something a little bit familiar here, hopefully. This is rock. It's pretty straightforward. Most people know how to play this groove or something similar to it. So now that we've got this rock groove, what we want to try to do is, again, try to be stylistically correct. And when you think of rock, you usually think of a couple of things. First thing is you think of kind of loud noise. You think of hitting hard and stuff like that. So there's two things we're going to add to this. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to sizzle our hats. We're going to open them up just slightly to get them sizzling to give it that rock sound. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to hit our snare drum nice and hard. And if you can, we're going to try to get a rim shot. If you don't know what a rim shot is, we're going to hit the middle of the snare nice and hard. But we're also going to try to hit the rim of the snare as well to make the whole snare really sound amplified. So we're moving on to disco now. When you think of disco, you're probably thinking of like, you know, John Travolta, Staying Alive or whatever. You're probably a bit too young for that. Anyway, this groove is actually used not only in disco music, but it's actually used across the board in so many different styles. You hear it in rock. A great example of that would be like Everlong by the Foo Fighters or something like that. You hear it in a lot of sort of metal like Slipknot and all that as well. So it's across the board. This is a very, very important groove to learn. Plus, it looks pretty sick. So with this one, we're going to start just with our hi-hats. We're going to do a single stroke roll. So now it's time to add in the kick, and the kick drum is on 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's on all quarter notes. Once you got that, maybe start bringing the snare down after that. Okay, so after you've got it, now you want to build up that speed. Alright, so now that we've got this groove, we're going to start to be, again, stylistic here. I'm going to say that a lot in this video, by the way. What we can do now is we can do a couple of things. We can open up our hi-hats every now and then. That gives it a really cool sound. So you can do it all the time, or you can do it every now and then. And you'll notice that the feet are lifting at the same time. Okay, now that we've got that, what we're going to do now with our last thing is we're going to start adding extra snare drums. So it's a good idea to start with your strong hand or your lead hand, which would be... So it's a good idea for you to lead with your strong hand or your lead hand, which most of you will be your right hand. So the idea is when you bring your right hand down to leave it down, and you create 2 snare drum hits in a row. So now what we want to do is we want to try to add in our left hand or the opposite hand. Now once you've got one, then you want to try to do what we did before and try to add 2 in there. I think you know where we're going with this, and we can just keep adding snares in and just messing around and basically just improvising. Once you got the hang of it, you can have a lot of fun with this. One last thing I just want to point out to this one is that you can open your hands up to your ride cymbal as well, and it can sound really, really cool. Again, move your hands around, have some fun with this one. This one sounds great, and again, it looks pretty impressive. Now let's move on to the next one. Now this is the pop groove.